Hi Aquarius, welcome to your week ahead taroscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, my readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant signs. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Aquarius, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they're going to speak to you. With that said, before we start, as always, I would like to bless my deck of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for your key to the week this week, you have the Devil card, right? So it's interesting that you get this week because the August reading actually looked quite nice, and so I kind of feel like this is like the last dregs of something. Remember, the Devil card shows up when you are in a holding pattern, when you're giving your power away to someone or something. It also can talk about addictions or habitual behaviors that are not good for you. The fact that you have this as your key to the week, I think across the board, something's being highlighted to you this week where you probably need to think about the way that you're enacting something, or whether the way that you're moving forward with something is the right way for you. All right, so it's kind of like asking you, is what you're doing a knee-jerk reaction this week? All right, so if you are a continued subby, you know I love you for it. If you're new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share. If you should so choose and it resonates, hit that subscribe button. Your foundation for the week is the Seven of Pentacles. It's an interesting card to have with the Devil card, because it kind of suggests this. Okay, fine. This can sometimes talk about workaholic tendencies, and I have definitely been accused of this more than once in my life, and definitely just recently. So the fact that this comes up, you might escape into your work, or you might try to bury yourself in work this week to escape something or to ignore something. If that is the case, ask yourself what it is that you're running away from, first of all, and second, if you know that there is something and you're not equipped to deal with it right now, then don't. But consider that there is something that needs to be looked at. Another way this could show up for you as well, think about what you're growing that may not necessarily be good for you, and you know that's going to be different for everybody, so use your own discernment. For your actions and options this week, you've got the Devil card. Where is it that you shoot yourself in the foot, Aquarius? Where is it that you hold yourself back? This week it's going to be highlighted to you. Are you cutting off your nose to spite your face? Are you telling yourself something's going to be okay when you know that it's probably not the best way for you to go? Do you drink too much? Do you eat too much? Do you smoke too much? Are you addicted to sugar? Like, which is it? This week something is going to be highlighted to you, and I think you're going to be really very maybe not necessarily vocal, but I think you're going to be really honest with yourself about what the challenge is here. And I think you're going to get to grips with a very bad, well, I say very bad, you're going to get to grips with a bad habit or an addiction of some sort of yours. And I think you're being really honest with yourself about what you're prepared to do about it, which looks like it will probably be a lot. Usually what happens with the Devil card is it highlights something to you and then you get really pissed off about it, and so you do something about it. For your communications and conversations, you have the Ten of Wands. This week, I kind of feel like you're in a space this week where I think you're going to end up saying to someone, you know what, I've given you time. I've given you time to speak. I've given you your moment to speak. I've given you your... Basically, you're going to shut somebody up. Likely this week, you're going to have a conversation where you're like, you know what, I've given you your moment to speak. I've given you your moment to have the spotlight. Now it's mine. You can speak when I'm done and not a moment before. This will also see you having a conversation this week where you are releasing someone or something, and possibly for good, which is very interesting. So for those of you that are working for somebody else, like you're an employee, this Ten of Wands suggests that you might start looking for other work or new work. Now, again, remember what I said, if this is a knee-jerk reaction, it's probably not the best way for you to go. If it is a response to something that is measured, slightly better. For those of you that work for yourselves, business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, quite frankly, this week, on to the next, right? Wherever it is that you're thinking about getting into that, ain't it awful and aren't I terrible and all the rest of it, you don't have time for it this week, especially not with the great month that August has the potential to be. So let whatever comes to an end this week be like, let that be it, right? And then for those of you that are retired or no longer working, I think this is going to see you being really honest about where you're dragged into stuff that really doesn't concern you. With that 10 of Wands as well, this could see you maybe saying something that somebody's not ready to hear. And I kind of get the feeling that for all Aquarians across the board, that might be the message as well. Whatever you're going to say this week, it might seem harsh, but it's true. For your love and relations, you've got the Ace of Pentacles. So this could be new love, new relationship, somebody new coming into the fold. It kind of feels like this is one of those moments, you know, where you meet somebody that's like either really awesome, they're really good looking, they're really cool, calm, sophisticated, and you're usually all of those things. But at the moment that you meet this person, you're a complete mess. You know, maybe you've just finished painting your place, you're hot, you're sweaty, you're covered in paint, you really look awful, and then you run into somebody that is like, you know, this week there is a potential for new love. What I will say to you, with the Devil card in close proximity, what are the positive attributes of the Devil? Hardworking, luxurious, the best of the best. One of the other ones, when you add this to the Ace of Pentacles, this could be somebody that's very wealthy. And two things are likely to happen in that regard. One, you might feel like a need to compete. And two, you might feel totally out of your element and be like, oh my gosh, I'm really not ready for this at the moment. Like, and it reminds me of that line in a film where he says, you know, fate rarely chooses a moment of our, fate rarely calls on us on a moment of our choosing. And this kind of feels like it might be that. So be open to it. For those of you that are partnered or in relationships or married, something about the money, the finances, or the resources this week, you might be the one that's tempted to overspend. It also suggests maybe that you need to look at the budget. All right, the Ace of Pentacles is very much about the money. And then speaking of money, for your finances and your money and your materials, you've got the King of Swords. For me, this card is Aquarius ruled, and the fact that you have this in your money means that this week there's a potential for you to earn more money. There's also a potential here for you to put a really amazing plan in place. But again, there's this whole overworking, overdoing it, being overly determined, look, maybe really pedantic about the details, maybe being really rigid about the way that something has to happen. But when it comes to money, finances, resources, the King of Swords is basically saying this week, get your ducks in a row. Get everything on paper where you can see it clearly so that you can be aware of what's actually going on. And also get really clear on your own finances as well. Like whether you're in a partnership, whether you're single, like get really in touch with and clear on your monetary goals this week. For your physical health and vitality, this is going to be your nervous system and or your skin. Definitely possible, but could just as easily be, because it's underneath the 10 of Wands, this might be a week where looking after your nervous system, in ways that you find enjoyable is going to be important. And then finally, when it comes to the home, something new happening for the home. Maybe a new home, maybe you're welcoming something new into the home, maybe you're welcoming somebody new into the home. It's very possible. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Work hard at getting this stuff clear this week so that you can step into August in stellar fashion. If you haven't seen the August 2021 video, check it out. I urge you, it's going to be great. All right, take care, and I'll see you soon.